Well, hey there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Crafty Kathy. I'm the owner and creator of Kit's Vintage Farmhouse in beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I am tickled pink that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. The last few weeks, I've been doing a little bit of a change up, and I've been doing some Dollar Tree craft and hack videos, and you guys are just loving them. So this week, I decided to do one more, and we are going to do it on fabrics. I hope you guys like what I came up with. It's very easy, and so even if you're a beginner, you can do these crafts. But anyways, enough of my rambling. Let's jump into the farmhouse and see what old Cat's been cooking up for you this week, shall we? I've got a little bit of a problem, y'all. Every time that I go into a Dollar Tree and I see some fabrics that I like, I grab it, and then I bring it back home and I stick it in my little fabric drawer where it's forgotten. And the other day, as I was wondering what I'm going to do on my next video, I came upon my fabrics and I thought, my goodness, let's do some crafts and maybe they can get some inspiration from my hoarding problem. Let's start off with DIY number one. I'm going to use these two little signs from the Dollar Tree, and I guess you could say they're door hangers because that's about what everybody uses them for. I'm just going to clip off the tops because we're not going to need it. And I'm going to pull out my favorite of all of these fabrics. Look how beautiful this is. It's Farmhouse, and it's got those beautiful cows on the front and chickens. I know you can't see it right now, but this is how I did it. I grabbed some Mod Podge, and this is just matte Mod Podge, nothing special at all. Now, I'm just going to pour a little bit of the Mod Podge on my piece, and I'm going to make sure that I give it a good heavy coat. That's why I put down a lot. And I'm going to make sure that I get it on those sides because you definitely want it to stick there. Now, all I did was covered my sign and flipped it over. And you can see that the fabric has wrinkles in it, but that Mod Podge takes those wrinkles out. If you just kind of tug on that fabric a little bit, the wrinkles will come right out. And y'all, look what I did with this other thing of Mod Podge. I poured a mountain load out accidentally. Hey, when I craft, I am not a clean crafter by any means. I'm probably the messiest Marvin in the bunch, okay? I'm just telling you. But it's all good because it takes a good coating of this Mod Podge to get the layer on there like you want. Now, I laid both of my pieces down, and I very carefully flipped them over. And when I did that, I put a whole nother layer of Mod Podge on the front. Because if you leave it alone overnight and let it dry, it's going to create almost like a hard coating, and that's exactly what we want. Now, this is the next day, and it's got that hard coat on there. I'm just taking my scissors and cutting it into two pieces so it's going to be easier to fool with. Now, if you have something that's very easy to cut like these two signs are, you can just hold that sign at an angle and hold your scissors at an angle, and it's going to cut along the side of it perfectly. You don't have to worry about any little stray hairs hanging off or anything like that. It's going to make a perfect cut every time. But if you do have a couple of little stray hairs hanging off there, just cut them off. It don't matter. I'm telling you, it's going to be beautiful. And now, if you'll remember, these two signs have the little hole in the top of them so we can hang them. So all I did was take my scissors and kind of punch it through the top and kind of run my scissors around in there. That hard coating is not going to go anywhere and you're not going to hurt it. Now, I got this little chicken probably about 2 years ago off of Etsy, and I will try to link the shop down below if I find it. But you know, this was before Dollar Tree came out with their little farmhouse animals. Now they have a chicken that's on like a little piece of wood that's almost the same as this chicken is. Now, I painted both sides because that front side was doing something funky, and the wood had like little ridges in it that I just didn't like, so I thought I might put her down on the other side. Now I'm going to take this Distress Oxide, and it's by Tim Holtz. I absolutely love it. It's a spray stain, and I just spray a little bit of it down on my silicone mat, and I use some of those little daubers. I get these off of Amazon, and they're in my Amazon store in case you're interested. And I just wanted to go around my little chicken and highlight her a little bit, and then I used a baby wipe to wipe off the excess. Now, you don't have to do this. It's just a personal preference, but I think it just makes her kind of stick out a little more. Now, I'm going to take my little signs, and we are going to use these as a door hanger like most people do. And again, it's a personal preference, however you want to set yours. But remember, the two little holes have to be one on top of the other. And I like my front one to be like perfectly straight, and the one in the back to be just catty corner a little bit, or kind of, you know, a little sideways. And so I just took my glue gun and glued them together exactly where I wanted them to meet at. And now I'm just going to take just a little string. This is a jute cord that I get at Walmart. I want to say they're about $4 for this roll, and it lasts you forever. Now, it's a little bit thicker than my holes were, so I had to use my scissors to poke that jute cord through there. And then I just tied a knot in the top so that we can have a good little hanger for this hanger. I'm going to take one of these little pieces of wood that came out at Dollar Tree in the fall. I put a little bit of hot glue and a little bit of my Type Bond wood glue down on there. And I'm going to place it right in the center and put my chicken down on there so she kind of looks like she's almost 3D. And then I took these little flowers. They're called Billy Button Pick. I got these at Walmart, and I just clipped them off, and I'm kind of seeing how I want these to go in the back. Now, one of them, I just absolutely just clipped all the little leaves off of it. That way I could manipulate it and put it exactly where I wanted it. And I just hot glued these right down behind my chicken. I love to do stuff like that, like make it 3D and have flowers in behind it. I think that just gives it a little something extra, and I like the look of it. And here's where I just took all the leaves and just kind of placed them where I wanted them. I still had a couple of my flowers left, and I don't want to waste any of my florals. So what I did was just put a dab of hot glue on the back of them and put them down just a little bit lower, closer to the chicken. And then I just added some more leaves because, like I said, I don't waste anything, honey. And there she is, sweet and simple, and I hope you like this one.
She thinks I'm a little lazy, I think she's a little crazy. We like summer and we like spring, watching wrestling in the ring. She ain't shy, she speaks her mind, tough as nails and smooth as wine. We burn hot as kerosene, baby, we got our own thing. She ain't skinny and I ain't tall, and that don't bother us at all. I run naked through the yard, she flash every police car, drinking wine and getting tired, shooting out the damn street lights. How does she put up with me? Oh, baby, we got our own thing. We got our own thing. We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a, we're a hillbilly king. And
on DIY number 2, I'm going to start off with this wood round that I get from the Hobby Lobby. And they're normally $3.49, but I get them when they're half off. So it's just like $1.75 for 6 of these pieces. And I think that's a really good deal. They're good and sturdy too. Now I'm using my DIY paint in the color called Beadboard. And I'm just going to go over this real quick and give it a messy little coat of white. Now I'm going to grab this gorgeous fabric that of course is from Dollar Tree, and I think this one came out back in the spring, but you can probably still find it in your stores. And look how beautiful this is. It says home on it. It's got like little watering cans on there and milk jugs. I just think it's so pretty, and I love the flowers on it. It says live simply, and it's very pretty. So what I'm going to do is just kind of lay it down, and I'm going to make sure that I get the home right in the middle. That's just kind of how I wanted it. I'm going to use that same matte Mod Podge, nothing special. And I'm going to put a pretty good coat all over the front of this, just like I did before. and then I'm going to lay my fabric down on top of it. And then I'm going to try to smooth those wrinkles out, which they come out so easily. You always start off in the middle and go outward, and that will get all the wrinkles out. And then I'm going to do just like before and just put a good coat of Mod Podge on the outside of this, and then I'm just going to leave it alone and let it dry. It's best to let it dry overnight, but usually within a couple hours, it's good and dry and ready to go. Now I'm going to cut this the exact same way that I cut that other piece. I'm going to hold it at an angle and hold my scissors at an angle, and it's going to be a perfect cut all the way around my circle. About a year ago, a company called Woodpecker Crafts sent me this mason jar cutout, and it's a wood cutout. It's very nice and thick, and I haven't used it, and I thought, man, it's time to pull this out and do something with it. So I gave it a real quick coat of that same color of beadboard. Now I've got a piece of floral foam that I had cut in half from before, and we want it to be fairly thin. I cut it in an exact rectangle so it would fit on the back of my circle here. And then I grabbed my metal ribbon, and this did come from Dollar Tree. And please be careful with this stuff because it is very sharp. I cut the crud out of my finger with this stuff, y'all. Now what I did was just kind of bend it, and this stuff is very easy to manipulate and bend around stuff. I bent it around the very top of the mason jar, and I still did put some glue on there just to make sure that it was going to hold. But it's probably best to wear gloves if you're going to fool with this metal ribbon, because I'm telling you what, it will cut the far out of you. I ended up putting 2 bands of that ribbon on the top so it would really look like a jar. And now we've got that beautiful sign, and what I'm going to do is put down some hot glue on my floral foam, and I'm just going to place my sign on top of it. And then I also held the floral foam up and put a little bit of hot glue there so it's going to stick to my sign. And I'm going to show you here a little piece of this metal. See how sharp this stuff is? Just be careful with it. And I've got these beautiful flowers that were just 97 cents from Walmart. I like the green color because it matches the green that's in the sign or on the fabric. And I'm just going to place the taller ones kind of in the center. And then I'm just going to go down and around. And then I placed a couple in the very front. It's just a personal preference, just however you like it to look really nice. That's all there was to this one, and I hope you like it.
I wanna jump around when I think about yesterday. Your smile, your style so fly, my oh my. As time stood still, I got the urge to steal a kiss, and so I did. Now I'm embarrassed, but just a little bit. Oh, there must be gold on those lips and honey on those fingertips.
I've been needing something to place outside at the pool area so that we can stick our towels up and let them dry. And this was the perfect DIY to do that with. I'm going to use these 3 beautiful nautical looking fabrics that I've got and these 3 little wood hangers. 2 of them are whales and 1 is a sailboat, and of course they all came from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to gently remove the little wooden piece that's on the front, and it's very, very easy to remove. We're going to add a little glue when we put it back in there just to make sure that it has a really good hold. And I don't need those hangers on the back. We're actually going to take those off. But for now, what I'm going to do is just lay out the fabric that I want. And I picked this one that has the sailboats on it. I absolutely love this one, and I decided that I'm just going to use that on all 3 of my pieces. Now, you can use this matte Mod Podge. This one is called Stiffy, but I decided to use the outdoor Mod Podge. I have every type of Mod Podge you can imagine, and I think to myself that they're all basically the same. It seemed like the outdoor was maybe a little bit thicker, but it says that it will protect your stuff when it's outside. And of course, these are going to be hanging up. They're going to get rained on and everything else. So I just figured let's give it a whirl and try the outdoor Mod Podge. So what I did was gave it a really good thick layer on each of my little wooden pieces. And I'm just going to lay them down on this little fabric, just like I've been doing before. Then I'm just going to spin my fabric around, and to make it easier to handle, I just went ahead and cut the top piece off because we don't need that. And I'm going to do the Mod Podge on the top of each of the little wooden figures, just like we've been doing in all the previous DIYs. And just like all the others, I'm just going to leave it alone overnight and let it absolutely dry. I got this sign from Goodwill. I usually go ahead and grab signs like this if I find them at a decent price. It was $3, but it was half off day, so I paid $1.50 for it, and I figured why not? It's already painted and good to go. So I'm going to use my DIY paint in the color beadboard, and I'm just using an old cheap chippy brush. Now, it doesn't have to be anything special. I don't want a perfect paint job. I'm going to go ahead and coat the inner part really well, and then just kind of let a little bit of the wood come through on the edges. It just gives it an old vintagey vibe, and I like it. I did all the sides, and I flipped it over, and I figured I might as well do the part that says home too, because at some point, if I don't use it now, I'm going to use this sign later, and I'm going to want that part covered up. I took all 3 of those little wooden knobs, and I also painted them in the color beadboard. And if this happens to be the first time that you've ever been to my channel, I want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped in, and I would love for you to subscribe and become a part of our family. And guys, if you're liking this content, give me the big thumbs up button. That's the like button, because it really helps me out on YouTube. It'll help them to push my videos out there to people who've never seen me before. Now, this is the next day when all 3 of our pieces are dry. And if you did it right, this is what it's going to look like. You can pick it up and it's not even going to budge. And I'm just going to do these like I did all the others. I cut my 3 pieces off, and I'm going to hold it at an angle and hold my scissors at an angle also, and just cut down through there. Now, these shapes are pretty easy to cut around. If you have a little piece that's a little bit more difficult than you thought to cut, all you need to do is just grab an X-Acto knife or like a straight knife and just cut down through there. Just be really careful with that, because you know them things can be super sharp. There's a few little pieces on these wells that was a little bit more difficult to get, and so I grabbed that X-Acto knife, and I didn't have any problems cutting it right off there. And I don't need these extra hangers on the back because I didn't think that they would be sturdy enough to use to hang towels on. So I just used my little screw kit that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I took all those pieces off. I created a little hole in the front of these with my scissors, and then I just put a little bit of that wood glue on the end of that knob and stuck it right back inside each of those. I want to make sure that I have a good strong hold on these, so I'm using my Titebond Quick and Thick, which is the best wood glue that I know of. And it doesn't take a whole lot. I'm just going to rub it around on the back, and then I'm going to go around the areas that I didn't place the Titebond with my hot glue, because that hot glue is going to give it an immediate stick, and it's going to hold right now. But that Titebond wood glue is going to take a couple hours to set up, but once it sets up, it will not go anywhere. And I buy these hangers off of Amazon by the boxfuls. I absolutely love them on all my crafts because a lot of them I sell, and I want to make sure they've got a good hanger. I hope you like this one.
Well, all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so, man. I wanna take a ride and we'll bear in your mind. Come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. Coffee pot is nice and hot. We can sit in our underwear. Tell me about the dreams you had last week, swimming all around with the fish in the sea. Come and sit down with me in a rocking chair.
This is our last DIY of the day, and it's very easy. I've got these little stickers from the Dollar Tree, and they're like little dots, and we're going to take one of their glass vases. It's one of the taller vases, and I'm going to put these little dots just in no particular order. I'm going to place them around the bottom and the upper part of the glass. Now just go ahead and leave a good about 2 inches wide in the middle of that, because that's where we're going to put our fabric at. Now the way that I did these little dots, like I said, in no particular order, I would just kind of do one lower and then go higher, and it actually came out really nice. I've seen other people do these, and I like the way it looks. And I looked and looked all around my craft room, and I must have ran out of those little daubers that I get from the Dollar Tree. So I just took one of these little sponge brushes and pulled the end of it off. Because anytime that you are painting glass, number one, you want to use chalk paint. And number two, you want to put it on with a sponge. You want to daub it or dab it on, however you want to call it. Because if you paint it with a paintbrush, you're going to get paint strokes and it just doesn't look good. And it comes off so much easier. But if you'll do it this way and just kind of dab your paint on with a sponge, it makes it more difficult to just kind of scrape off or get scratched up or anything. And you just go over those dots, and it's going to make them white also. And it's creating the look of old-fashioned milk glass is actually what I'm trying to achieve here. I had a perfect size strip of my favorite of all these fabrics, which was the Farmhouse fabric. And you need about a 2.5 inch strip. And then I just put down a little bit of hot glue, and I laid my fabric down, and that's all I'm doing is going to glue this right around the center of this vase just to give it something special, something different, instead of just a plain old vase. It's a very quick and easy DIY, but it makes a beautiful statement. Then I'm going to grab my jute cord, the one that I told you that I bought at Walmart. It's a little bit thicker than the one from the Dollar Tree. I measured how far around to go on my vase, and I cut 2 pieces of this jute cord off. And then I just took my hot glue gun and I put some on the top and just kind of ran the jute cord all the way around the top of my beautiful Farmhouse fabric, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. That's just a really quick and easy hack if you have some fabric that you like, or even that fabric that they sold in the pack of 3 that was just the strips itself. I hope you like this one. Like I said, it was quick and easy and very simple.
Yesterday I lost a battle, trying at all costs, oh, to keep you, baby. Oh, to keep you, baby.
I wanted to share something very special that I received from Teddy Blake the other day. Look at this gorgeous pouch that this comes in, guys. Oh my goodness, I can't wait till you see this. Look at this purse. This purse is absolutely gorgeous. Mine is called the Kim Croco, and I love the skin on this. Every one of their bags is handmade in Italy by luxury Italian craftsmen, and I think these are so gorgeous. I absolutely love the leather. Let me just show you around my little bag. They let me pick any bag that I wanted, and this was my favorite. They had all colors of these bags, but I kind of felt like this color would kind of go with everything. And look how roomy this is inside. Now, I'm not one to normally carry purses, but when I go to church and outings like that, I love to have a beautiful purse on my side. And I think that this one is just absolutely gorgeous. And right now, Teddy Blake is having a huge 70% off sale, and I'm going to leave their link in the description box below, and you guys can go check them out if you're interested and get you a purse that's as beautiful as mine. And I wanted to show you too that it also has this gorgeous handle to it, and I just love my new purse. I want to thank Teddy Blake so much for sending me this purse. I am more than happy with this purse. I am just ecstatic. And I hope you guys like this one. I think it's gorgeous.
Well, hey there, everybody. It's me, Cousin Bobby Joe, all the way from the hills of Tennessee. Kathy's beautiful, sexy, adorable cousin that's a star, and I got stars in my eyes, and I'm getting out of these Tennessee hills, and I'm headed to Hollywood, baby. You better believe it. That's why I ain't been on here in some time, because, guys, I've been having trouble with Buford. He don't want me to go be no big Hollywood starlet, because he's afraid somebody in Hollywood's going to steal me away. But with the mullet that he's got, I ain't going nowhere. He's gorgeous. Are you kidding me?
She ain't been cooking my spam right.
Anyways, that old Buford, he's so silly. You know I come to my cousin Kathy's house to swim. Look at this gorgeous physique. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want a woman that looks like me? And I know as soon as all those big Hollywood agents see this here video, they're going to be knocking on my door, honey. But anyways, I'm going to go swim right now, and then I'm going to get out and meet me some Bane of weenies for lunch. And then I'm going to go and get some headshots made. But I love you guys. I just been so busy with the Hollywood thing. But I love y'all, and I will be seeing you real soon. Signing off, Cousin Bobby Joe. I love you. Bye.
If you haven't subscribed to my channel, what in the world are you waiting for? Hit that little red button and become a part of our family. We would love to have you here. Also, if you would, hit the like button because it really helps me out on YouTube. And don't forget, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll leave it in the description box so you can go and support me there too. My videos are every Monday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just want to thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here's another one. I would love for you to watch it too. And I'll be seeing y'all soon, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, honey. Y'all have a blessed week.